Hey guys. So we just learned that so Morgan will be doing the crossover. Spoiler alert.
We're thrilled about it.
I'm very confused. I had it set in my mind, they're in Houston, Texas. They're, delayed in the timeline. They're in the past and The Walking Dead's the present. And it just would have made so much sense to me to have, Abraham come across Mazza and the others. It seemed like a logical thing to do, but it appears that they will be bringing Fear the Walking Dead up to speed up to the present time and have Morgan travel across the country and come across them.
Yeah, so I'm struggling with this one, like just from a logistics standpoint. You know, I kind of was wondering before if possibly it was going to be somebody going from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, for a couple different reasons. First of all, because the ratings obviously are far lower on Fear the Walking Dead than on The
Struggling.
Walking Dead. So I'm assuming that they're taking a really popular character from The Walking Dead and putting them on the other show in order to boost the ratings and that basically like take a lot of the audience from The Walking Dead onto Fear the Walking Dead. So that makes sense from like a business standpoint. But from a writing standpoint, I'm really struggling with how this is going to make sense because now there's kind of like two different scenarios that are possible with this one. Because of the fact that Fear the Walking Dead it takes place slightly in a like past timeline, like it's delayed. It's not in the present timeline of The Walking Dead. Either they have to have Morgan somehow be 2,000 miles away uh, in the past,
No. That
which wouldn't make any sense, or they have to make Fear the Walking Dead do a time jump to come up to the timeline that The Walking Dead is on, which I think that's a much more likely scenario given the fact that they kind of like just planted the seed for the storyline to happen in one of those last episodes when Morgan had that fight with Jesus and then he like resigns himself and is like, I
there
can't be a part of this anymore.
and there was a helicopter, so maybe that's how Morgan gets there.
Yeah,
But I think that they'll probably go the route of Lost on Fear the Walking Dead, and it'll be like the past and then the present, the past and then the present, and at some point we'll learn, like Alicia dies, and Madison will be reflecting on the past, and then they'll go jump back to the present, and it's like, oh look, there's Morgan. Um, I still, I mean, I'm having trouble visualizing this, but I mean, obviously, I'll wait. I'll wait until I'll hold my thoughts until I actually see it. That being said, it is my opinion that Lennie James did not look terribly thrilled about the changes.
he looked downright heartbroken, and it wasn't just. I mean, if you go and watch the episode of Talking Dead where they announced it, there was like a live reveal and all this stuff, and
He looked kind of
he,
he looked upset. Let me
yeah,
say.
he didn't.
Melissa was upset.
He looked really upset. He kept like looking down and to the right, and his body language was just like not. He didn't look very happy about it, and then he started crying like later on when he was talking about
Well, it
leaving the
appeared.
scene. I
It
mean,
appeared. It appeared he was crying. The only one who had said that they were crying was Melissa. But it appeared his eyes were a little bit dewy.
yeah, it didn't look. He didn't look happy about this, and I can kind of. I mean, if I was him, I don't know. One could argue that this is almost like a demotion for him. Going from
No,
like the
it
top
is.
show to like the lesser popular of the other show. Look, obviously we're still gonna watch. I
I
mean,
mean, at least they're not killing his. They're not killing his
well,
character. So
hopefully not.
they're not killing his character. If the show,
Hopefully
if
not.
Fear doesn't pan out, obviously they can always bring him back to The Walking Dead. But I can understand being. It could be seen as a demotion.
Yeah,
And I know, like, who was it? Kevin Smith was on there saying, like, wow, what an awesome thing. And it's like,
yeah,
is it really though?
yeah. I was like, I don't know about that one. You know,
Be like that.
well,
That would be like saying, well, oh, you're gonna host the Oscars. Well, actually, you're gonna host the daytime Emmys,
yeah.
and it's like, wait, what? I thought I was doing the Oscars. I thought it was their Oscar night, not daytime Emmy.
It's a little weird. It doesn't really make sense quite yet. I mean, look, we're obviously we're gonna watch it, and if anybody can make this make sense, it's gonna be Scott Gimple. Which is, I guess, now this makes sense why Scott Gimple went over to Fear the Walking Dead, like even more now, because
They're combining, and I figured they would when they brought Scott over. Like it was just a natural conclusion of, having these two shows in the same universe and then having the same showrunner. Like I knew they were gonna do a crossover at some point. It was just a matter of when. And I think the clock was ticking on Fear. Not that their numbers are low for a show. It's low for
mm-mm,
AMC. It's low compared to The Walking Dead. It's like
yeah,
maybe half to. It's like a third to half maybe of the audience.
yeah. Well, it's not even that actually. The last time I checked, but maybe that's since changed. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody can come up with a way where it's going to make sense for how Morgan somehow like gets 2,000 miles across the country in the apocalypse, it would be Scott Gimple. I hope it's the helicopter because that's the only somewhat plausible explanation that I can think of. But
Well,
even then, it's a stretch because like helicopters use so much gas, and it's
but
like, how
but
would you
Morgan
find more
doesn't die.
gas?
So
I hope not.
helicopter
I
or
really
by
hope.
on foot or by car or whatever, Morgan will be fine traveling. And I do believe that Morgan's not gonna die.
Let's have him get shot in the helicopter and fall out of it like Travis did and test that theory.
No.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's our thoughts on it. I mean, I'm kind of neutral about it.
I still want Abraham to show up in a flashback.
You just love Abraham. That's
Well,
why.
no, but she's in Houston. They're in Houston right
That would have made a
now.
whole lot more sense.
The
Yeah.
timing is perfect. Like, come on.
I don't know.
And I do love Abraham, so
Anything more about this?
no.
All right. Well, as always, if you guys like our content, make sure to hit subscribe right here somewhere. Also follow us on Instagram at the Living Rochon, or I'm sorry, at RL Rochon, and on Facebook at the Living Rochon, and also check out the brand new thelivingrochon.com website, which is going to have new content on all things pop culture weekly from now on. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later.